As the DC Dice Masters Superman Kryptonite Crisis set release creeps closer and we see more and more spoilers out there, the brewing juices have started to flow and some cards and combos have caught my eye. So let's talk a little bit about some Kryptonite Crisis combos that I'm dying to try. Let's get into it. Yes, hello, welcome everybody, it's Chris here from the Ministry of Dice, and I'm back again today with another one of my video presentation thingamadoodads. And as I mentioned in the intro there, today's video is all about Kryptonite Crisis cards and combos that I am dying to try. As I've been looking over the spoilers we've seen as the set release creeps up, I've been poring over those game texts, and there's been a few that have stood out to me that have just caught my eye and made me get all excited and go, ooh, I can't wait to give that one a try. Not all are competitive, some of them are just casual kind of fun things that I want to give a go that I think might make a fun team for a Wednesday night gameplay with Andy and what have you. But they're nonetheless, and so in this video I'm going to share my insights, give you a little glimpse inside here as to what I'm finding so attractive and interesting about these cards and some of the combos that I want to pull off with them. So there we go, let's get into it, let's not dilly-dally around and let's start with Supergirl. And here she is. Here's the Supergirl that I want to talk about. It's the common, Kara Danvers. She's a 3-cost shield with the Super Friends affiliation, and her game text reads, while Supergirl is active, opposing sidekick dice get +1 attack and +1 defense. And she's also got a global, pay a fist, spin target character die up 1 level. And her stat line, and this is the bit that's really caught my eye, 155, 277, and 388. So that's a lot of stat power, a lot of strength, particularly attack strength, that you can pick up for a very cheap purchase cost, just 3, which I think is eye-catching. Well, other than the fact that the artwork is amazing. Look at that artwork. It's going to look great in foil. Hashtag catchphrase alert. So yeah, Supergirl, Kara Danvers. Now, if you're a regular listener to the podcast or you've been watching my gameplay stuff on the streams or on the YouTube channel, you'll know that one of the things I'm working on right now to try and be a better player is to start doing a little bit more with combat damage. Use the attack step a little bit more. So I've been experimenting around with fighty characters other than, you know, my usual fare, which is control and direct damage and stuff. So this Supergirl stands out to me, but though that stat line for that price, just, you've got to pause and take a closer look at it. Now, there's 2 downsides to it. We've got the fielding costs, 1, 2, and 3, respectively, on each level. And you've got the fact that she gives an advantage to your opponent. But I've been thinking about those. I think there's ways to mitigate that. So, starting with the fielding costs. My first thought was the Kree Soldier, but in set there's actually a nice solution, a nice little combo that works with Supergirl here, and it's this guy, Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen, sci-fi enthusiast, he's a 2-cost fist, he's also a Super Friends affiliation. His game text reads, while Jimmy Olsen is active, your Superman, Supergirl and Lois Lane character dice get +1 attack and +1 defense. Which is nice, he gives her a stat bump, but more importantly, the global. Pay a shield, the first character die you field this turn is free to field. So you're in effect making her fielding cost 1 across all levels there, which is not ideal. You'd want it perhaps free, and that's where your Kree Soldier could come into play. But with the stat bump 2 and the fact that he's a little weenie blocker that you might make some use of as well, I think there's a combo. There's something going on there that I definitely want to try and play around with. So there you go, I've mitigated the fielding cost. Now we've got the problem of giving our opponent the advantage of buffing their sidekicks. And there was a blob character from the X-Men Forever campaign box, I think off the top of my head, that I remembered playing around with back in the day. So he's a 3-cost shield. He's got Intimidate, but his game text, there's a bit of small print on that. Blob may only use Intimidate on sidekick character dice. Blob's Intimidate ability affects all opposing sidekick character dice instead of affecting only 1. Blob gets +1 attack until the end of turn for each sidekick character die affected by Blob's Intimidate ability. And then he's 015, 116, and 218. So, yeah, there you go. If your opponent wants to try and take advantage of that bonus that you're giving them with your Supergirl, you can use your Blob to remove them from the field. His Intimidate applies to all opposing sidekicks that are out there, which takes care of that problem altogether. So if you're going for a big, scary rush and you're going to get a Supergirl out real fast and get her up in your opponent's face like lightning, turn 1, buy a Supergirl. Turn 2, buy a Blob. With a prep global, have them both ready to roll in turn 3. And you could be throwing an 8-8 character down the field at your opponent, and all you would really need is a little bit of extra energy to cover the fielding cost with the Jimmy Olsen Global and any fielding cost that Blob may be generating. I mean, that's if your opponents put sidekicks out, of course, which they may not do. As another little side note, I was thinking about the Awakened Collector too, and whether there's ways and means of kind of orchestrating that with Supergirl's Global to try and use Blob on your opponent's turn so they can't use those sidekicks offensively as well. But I've not fully thought that one through. I'd welcome any comments down below on that one, whether anyone's kind of taken that to the next step. But there you go. There's the Supergirl and the Jimmy Olsen stroke Blob combo that I think I'm going to give a try. Is it competitive? Probably not, but I reckon it'd be a fun team and it would definitely get me working with a bit of attack step combat damage stuff, which is something I'm trying to work on right now. So yeah, let me know what you think of that one. Next on my list of Kryptonite Crisis combos I'm dying to try is this guy here, Batman Legend of the Dark Knight. He's the rare. He's a 5-cost fist. He's got 3 affiliations, Bat Family, Justice League and Super Friends, and his game text reads, while Batman is active, when one of your character dice is KO'd, deal 1 damage to target player and 1 damage to target character die. And then he has a global where you can pay 2 masks, and each player may field up to 2 psychic dice from their use pile. And his stat line is 144, 255 and 375. Now, this is a great card all round. In fact, I'm planning on talking about this as a pick of the week in an upcoming Ministry of Dice episode we've got coming down the pipeline, so keep your ears open for that. In fact, by the time this video goes live, that may have even happened. So there we go. Check out the latest episode of the Ministry of Dice, just in case. But this is a great card all round. It reminds me, gives me echoes of the old Retaliation game text from the Justice League set that I played around with a great deal at the time. Although it's not got the restriction where there has to be a matching affiliation. It's got everything you need all in one card. It's got a means of delivering damage. It's got a means of doing a little bit of targeted removal, and it's got the global to give you the characters, the fodder to use in the machine, in the engine of doing the damage. So all round a great kind of single card, and you can combo that up with loads of stuff to KO your characters. But the combo that I want to try is an ambitious one. It's balmy. There's much more efficient ways of doing it, but I just kind of want to give it a go, and it's this one here with Anti-Monitor Mobius. He's a 5-cost fist, and his game text reads, when Anti-Monitor attacks, you may KO any number of your character dice. For each that you do, your opponent KOs one of their character dice. So I'm thinking with the Batman Global and the fact that you can use that to keep churning out loads of sidekicks, the Batman game text, which allows you to do a bit of pingity ping ping, both to your opponent and to a target character dice, and then the Anti-Monitor, which gives you the option to KO as many of them as you like. It's ambitious. It's 2 5-cost characters with fat fielding costs on them. But I just think it'd be a fun one to try, like an achievement unlocked kind of thing to pull off. Yes, I've successfully managed to get 4 sidekicks out in the field, a Batman and an Anti-Monitor. I've attacked with my Anti-Monitor, I've attacked with my Batman. I've KO'd all 4 of the sidekicks to KO everything that's in the way on the opposite side of the field. And I've got them both on level 3, so there's 14 damage plus the 4 damage. So that's 18 there. With a little bit more work, that could be a pretty lethal combination, if you soften the ground with Batman prior to that. So it's super ambitious. That's a casual one because let's face facts, you're more likely going to be looking at using something like the Dark Phoenix Global from the Dark Phoenix Saga set. But I just like something about the combo synergy of that and the fact that Anti-Monitor lets me KO any number of my character dice. And with that Batman Global just going wild, building up sidekicks. Now, there is a downside to that, of course. The Batman Global lets your opponent field sidekicks, but that's where his 1 ping comes in. So you use his damage to ping off the sidekicks and then use the KOing of the sidekicks to kill the bigger characters. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Again, it's a half-baked idea. I've read the spoilers and gone, I wonder if you can combo those two. It might be something you could pull off in a draft, perhaps. I don't know, maybe, because they're both in set. But yeah, it's something I'm planning on trying, and that's what this video is all about, Kryptonite Crisis combos that I'm dying to try. Will it work? Probably not. Is it over-ambitious? Probably yes. Is everything too expensive? Absolutely. But I want to give it a go. So yeah, there we go. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of that balmy idea. Right, okay then, next on the hot list is this guy here, Monsieur Mallah, Brilliant Scientist. He's the uncommon, he's a 3-cost fist with the villain affiliation. His game text then, Monsieur Mallah gets +2 attack while blocking. While Monsieur Mallah is active, at least one opposing character die must attack each turn. And he has a stat line of 022, 023, and 245. So lots of combos have occurred to me with this guy. He's someone that I'm definitely going to be playing around with. Just of late, actually, I've been playing Andy a lot, and he's been using force attack removal, you know, with like Black Widow globals and such like. And so... and Doctor Strange. And so I certainly know and recognise the power of force attacking. But what he does is he guarantees you're getting an attack step. He guarantees that your opponent is going to be making an attack one way or another. And because it's not a global, you're entirely in control of that. So lots to play around with here. The first thing that sprung to mind, one thing I want to try is the Poison Ivy, the rare, push too far. She's a 3-cost mask. She's got the Legion of Doom affiliation, and her game text reads, when fielded, choose an opposing character replacing all previous choices. While Poison Ivy is active, when that character die attacks, field a 0 attack and 2 defense plant token. While Poison Ivy is active, if a plant token is KO'd, target player loses 1 life. So I'd have to have a think about it, like what do you target when you field her? Do you target that bit of control or that utility piece that your opponent's going to want to have camped out in the field and start doing some stuff early game with that, like a ramp piece or whatever? Or do you target the thing that your opponent's most likely to choose to attack with in the game state that Monsieur Mallah is creating? I don't know, that bit again I've not fully thought through. Want to play test it, give it a go, but that's the point. These are Kryptonite Crisis combos I'm dying to give a try and see how they work out. But I like that she gives you the plant tokens. I like that there's the little bonus of the life loss when they're KO'd, and it's this idea of forcing an attack step. Incidentally, she's a nice little combo piece with the aforementioned rare Batman that I was talking about. And that's just like doubling your fun because you've got his ping damage, then her life loss, and she's giving you the weenies to throw into your engine, you know, your little sacrificial lambs for your Batman damage. So he could fit in with all, at least with Poison Ivy, but even with the Monsieur Mallah piece, although that's really ambitious, isn't it, trying to get all that out. But in any case, so you've got that going on. Your attack step is being forced. Then the other thing I was thinking about was a character that caught my eye from the Dark Phoenix saga. Talked about this one as a pick of the week on the Ministry of Dice podcast. Emma Frost, manipulative, 5-cost shield with the Hellfire affiliation. While Emma Frost is active, at the start of your opponent's attack step, re-roll target character die they control. So that's a nice little twist as well. Monsieur Mallah forcing an attack step, so your opponent is going to have to initiate an attack step, which means you're going to get your Emma Frost game text one way or another, which gives you a character reroll. Perhaps with Poison Ivy out as well, which is then creating you a plant token. I don't know, just layers upon layers of this whole kind of, you're going to have to attack with one of those dice. So that's tough decision number 1. Then once you do attack, you're going to have to try and figure out what I'm going to re-roll, what I'm going to block with my plant token. You know, it's just giving your opponent loads of things to think about, loads of tough choices to make, which I really, really love. I like making annoying teams, what can I say? And then finally for this video, although there's many more combos with this guy beside, I was thinking about Phantom Stranger. Mysticism. This is from the Mystics team pack that came out alongside the Justice campaign box. And his game text reads, while Phantom Stranger is active, when an opposing character die attacks, the attacking character die deals 1 damage to all opposing character die. So I've tried to make this one work. Again, if you've been watching our gameplay videos, you'll know that I've had this guy on a couple of teams, specifically around the time the campaign box and team packs came out, trying to see if I can do something with this this blanket, wide area of effect. If they attack with just the one character, that in order to just satisfy the game state from Monsieur Mallah, then okay, fine, you've done 1 to everything, no more sidekicks for you, no more weenies for you. But then if they try and stack it up and attack with other things, then I don't know. I just think those 3 cards were the very first immediate instinctual reactions to reading the Monsieur Mallah game text and going, ooh, there's some combos I'm dying to try. Let's see how they work out. So yeah, and much more besides. There's tons of stuff you can do by guaranteeing that you're getting an attack step to play around in your opponent's turn, but those are just 3 kind of ones that in terms of 2-card combos or 3-card, or throw them all on the team, why not? 4-card combo, get them all out and see what happens, what chaos you can generate. Imagine doing that, getting 2 3-costs, a 4-cost and a 5-cost out. I'm game if you are. You know what I mean? Yeah, but just some interesting ideas. But the fact that you're guaranteeing an attack step, I think, is interesting, and I think it it's useful if you want to trigger these, when opponent attacks kinds of game texts without bringing a global that your opponent could take advantage of too. So again, let me know in the comments down below what you think of that combo. Alright folks, here's another one that's caught my eye, the Joker Final Dance. It's a rare, he's a 4-cost shield, he's got the villain affiliation. His game text reads, when fielded, you may immediately KO the Joker. If you do, deal 1 damage to target psychic character die and re-roll target non-psychic character die. And then he comes with the prep global, that old school prep global, play a mask once per turn during your turn. If you have no other dice in your prep area, you may draw and place 1 in your prep area. And his stat line is 114, 124, 236. So this is an interesting one. It's a self-KOing villain. And so I was just thinking back to one of my old favourites from back in the day. Black Manta, Deep Sea Deviant. If you're a golden player, then that's a nice little combo. I used to use Hush from the Batman set, for example, with that kind of self-KOing kind of thing. So Black Manta's got retaliation. If one of your villains is KO'd, deal 1 damage to your opponent for each of your active villains. I've probably got retaliation on the mind because I've been thinking about it in relation to Batman and the similarities and differences there. But a self-KOing character that then does a bit of shenanigans too appeals to me. So get your Black Manta out, get a couple of other cheap villains or whatever, just pad your field with some villain control or some sidekicks with a Malekith, making them all villains, something like that. Then drop your Joker into the mix, field him, immediately KO him, start pinging off your opponent's sidekicks, make sure he's thin on those, no blockers for you, and start re-rolling his big stuff and see what happens. It's just the right kind of Joker sort of anarchy, that appeals to me, this self-KOing constant villain that you can just put out KO. And it also means, and once again, this is a theme that probably comes out in a lot of the combos you hear me talk about, it's entirely in my control. I'm not bringing, for example, a Dark Phoenix global to KO my villains, or what would have been a Blue Eyes global back in the day, for my opponent to take advantage of and get the extra ramp through. It's eliminating that element from the process while still giving me the villain KO I need to trigger the Black Manta Deep Sea Deviant. So I can just see myself in a single affiliation setup or playing around with some golden villain teams and seeing whether a self-KOing Joker would pair up well with a Black Manta Deep Sea Deviant. Kick it old school with something with a fresh twist. And the fact he comes with the prep global, that's pretty useful too. So there you go, the Joker Final Dance. Again, I'm probably being over-ambitious, maybe trying to get that to work with a 4-cost villain. But there's ways and means of working with that. But it might be a little over-ambitious, but I'd be very eager to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. So let me know, what do you think of Joker Final Dance, and kind of self-KOing villain have other uses that have not occurred to me? I'd love to hear your thoughts. The sun's gone down. Can you tell it's gone all a little bit darker in here? But yes, the last on my list, the one that I think is probably the most competitive in tone, everything up to now has just been all about me having janky combo fun, is this guy here, Green Lantern Human. I'm eager to see whether the card injection of good combo pieces with this guy from the Justice campaign box is going to take him up a notch in the kind of competitive tiers and help him reach the top spot. So Green Lantern Human, if you're not familiar, is a 5-cost mask. He's got the Justice League affiliation, and his game text reads, while Green Lantern is active, your Justice League character dice gain. When this character die attacks, deal 1 damage to target player for each energy symbol in your reserve pool that matches this character die's energy type. And he's 142, 153, and 165. Now, up until this point, the kind of archetype has been centered around using masks. It's kind of generally accepted and recognized that generating a lot of masks and then attacking with masky Justice League characters alongside this guy is the way to go. But the options have been limited, and Kryptonite Crisis is just about to blow that wide open. So yeah, let's just talk through kind of what I'm thinking. Now, in the first instance, obviously a mask team, a Justice League mask team, is going to have to borrow a little bit of help from the wrestlers and get Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, in. Predictable, obvious, how many times you hear this talked about, but she is a 3-cost mask who discounts other mask characters by 2 on their purchase cost. So she's a must. Get her in the mix. She's going to make you Green Lantern 3, and she's going to help you buy some of the other subsequent masks that I'm about to talk about. So that's the core foundation. An existing combo It's an existing combo. It's all about whether the Kryptonite Crisis release is going to give it a bit of an injection of new life. And what I think is going to give it an injection of new life is these cards here. First things first, Hawkgirl, medieval weapons expert, 3-cost mask, Justice League affiliation. She's got range 1 and her stat line is 022 133 144. So with Asker out in the field, this is a 1-cost mask. She's got relatively low fielding costs as well, so she's easy to manage throughout the game. And she's got that little added value piece of the range as well. So if you're planning on attacking with her to trigger the damage from Green Lantern and the game effect he's added to her game text, then you've also got just that little bit of added value with the range too, which I think is a nice touch. Then you've got, and this is the big swinger, the Wonder Woman Legendary. 6-cost mask, she's got Justice League and Super Friends affiliation. And she reads, when fielded, spin target character die to an energy face, and you may deal 2 damage to target character die. While Wonder Woman is active, ignore opposing when fielded and when attacks abilities. And she's got a global, pay a mask, change the target of an action die that targets a character die to the character die of your choice. And she's 033 135 257. So now I'm getting a little army of mask Justice League characters. I'm buying them all at a discount because of Asker. So with Asker out in the field, my Hawkgirl is 1, my Green Lantern is 3, my Wonder Woman is 4, all much more manageable purchase costs. Wonder Woman, not only does she have that incredible control effect, which is ignoring opposing when fielded and when attacks abilities, which is just mind-bending. Intimidates, due for a big return, I imagine, soon. But it takes out your, when fielded removal effects. It takes out things like your Spider-Man when attacks spin down. All very useful, all very powerful stuff. Takes the wind right out of the sails of a Master Mold team. It eliminates 2 out of the 3 triggers to get the little poop out tokens. So that's all great. Not only that though, she's got a bit of added removal in the mix. When she hits the field, she spins something down to energy, deals 2 to another character. So that's all great. She's just like an all-rounder for this team. And she's a mass character to benefit from the Green Lantern game effect. And then she's got that added protection of the global to stop any shenanigans. Like if someone tries to confront the mighty your Wonder Woman away or your Asker, you can use her global to then retarget it and make your opponent kill their own characters or something. So we've got a lovely little team forming. We've got a bit of ramp to make it much more manageable in terms of purchase cost. And we've got stronger Justice League characters with little bits of added value that can strengthen up that Green Lantern team more so than it's ever been. And to top it all off, the Clayface Global that was being used a great deal as an engine to generate those masks is now going to have the 1-cost Harley Quinn, Bright Lights Big City, the common. This is the full art version I've got here on screen now. So a single cost mask character that you can use with the Clayface Global to just really build your mask generating energy to ridiculous heights. Or just buy them all. Just buy all 4 of your Harley Quinns and fill the bag with a cheap mask character. That's not too bad if you desperately need a bit of stat blocky stuff going on too. So the team is just is getting more form. It's getting more structure from the injection of the new cards that I've been displaying on the right-hand side of the screen as you're watching. I think, the side with the new stuff on. Now that's a lot of cards though. That's pretty much a complete team, but it's got almost everything you could want. It's got ways of dealing damage to your opponent through Green Lantern. It's got a little bit of spot removal with the range on Hawkgirl and with the when fielded effect on Wonder Woman. You've got loads of masks going around if you're buying Harley Quinns and Hawkgirls for a single mask. You've got Clayface to help you grab masks and amp up your mask potential whenever you need it. And then a wealth of mask globals that you can then plow the excess mask energy into. Your static fields and, make them all Avengers with your ID card or something, I don't know. But just tons and tons going on there. And I think it's a really great team. I think it's going to take a little step up into terms of competitive strength when the set comes out. And it's definitely one that I think I'm going to be tinkering around with and playing as my kind of serious core team for a little while. So there you go. I would be very surprised if I'm not the only person who that will have occurred to, of course, naturally. So if you've got some thoughts, or there's a couple of other different cards that you're kind of putting on the shortlist to use with that one, let me know in the comments down below. But watch this space, you'll be seeing me play with that one faux show. If I pull the super rare Wonder Woman. So yeah, there we are. There's my last combo of the list, folks. Well, there we are then, folks. There's my hot list of Kryptonite Crisis combos I'm dying to try. That's just my priorities, my top of the list. There's many other combos besides, but they're the ones that I've been mulling over, chewing over, like kind of thinking about as I'm falling asleep in bed at night. So hopefully you've enjoyed getting that insight and me sharing those ideas. If you are interested in taking a closer look at those cards, all of the card images will be on our BritRoller6.com unreleased set spoilers gallery, so you can go and give them a read. And pour over some of the others as well and figure out some combos of your own if you like. If you have had anything, I've mentioned it several times through the video, anything that's occurred to you and gone, oh, I wonder if Chris has thought about this, or here's another card that will work well with that, all that kind of stuff, then please do share your thoughts, reflections, comments, feedback on the combos I've discussed, or any expansive ideas or the cards to throw in the mix there. I know, I mentioned it before, there are many newer players who not only enjoy my content that's in the video itself, but the expansive conversation that takes place in the comments. So please do drop down below and add a little something in there for those who enjoy the ready bit as well. And while you're down there, of course, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, like. It means an awful lot to me, but it takes you just a second and lets me know I'm going in the right direction. And if you're not already subscribed, I'd love you forever if you hit the subscribe button. So there we are. All right, folks, well, I'm Chris, otherwise known online as the True Mr. Six, and I'll catch you around these parts on our YouTube channel, over on the Ministry of Dice podcast, or on our website, BritRoller6.com, sometime soon. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Ta-ta, folks.